What's been the most difficult car to rebuild?
The P1 for sure, the McLaren P1, because again, it's not necessarily a rebuild. If it were a 100% OEM rebuild, like I was just getting every factory part and all that, it definitely would have been done by now. And it wouldn't have been. I'm not gonna say it wouldn't have been difficult. It would have been expensive, but it would have been possible. The thing that happened to me is that I saw an opportunity, and it's like that opportunity mindset. Like what could be.
Yeah.
Instead of having a P1 that was in a really bad flood, and then I rebuilt it to whatever standard that is. Like, what if I got together the best team I could, and I used every single one of my resources and every single one of my network contacts to make the most iconic, like the most insane car I could, because I'm never going to get this opportunity again. So that's what got me into, like, well, now we're going to rebuild the engine to way more power, and then now we're going to do this and that, and then work with the original designer, Frank Stephenson, to design an actual car, like a new version of this car specifically for my needs, which is something I never thought I would ever do. This prolific designer. I have a bunch of his cars, the 430 and 675, like that. Like, I'm a big fan of his design work. And then I emailed him, and he said, why don't I just design you a car, which is nuts. So now, not only am I beholden to myself and my viewers, but now, like, this guy who is like my automotive idol is working with me, and now I have to perform for him, because I can't make him look bad. So it is a lot of pressure, and I think that is why, and it's also a lot of money and a lot of time.
So I'm just going to ask you a question, and I want the first gut response that you have to the question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so no thinking. Why don't you just finish the P1?
I haven't thought of that. I've never thought of that yet. Like thanks for. It's
what's the gut? What's the gut saying?
The gut feeling is, oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks. So why haven't I finished the P1?
Yes.
Because it's hard. Because well, the gut response is, what color is your Bugatti? Realistically, it's because, let's say, for a company like McLaren, like an actual car company that makes cars in a production line, they have to take years and years with hundreds of people and engineers and everything to make one of these cars, to design it. I'm one guy. I'm a YouTuber. I make videos online for a living, and I don't have millions and millions of dollars. All I can do is, like, what happens in my head. Can I make that into reality? Probably, maybe, who knows? And that's what I put on into the car. So I'm not trying to hodgepodge anything together. I'm trying to do everything, correctly. And I'm also trying to fix some of the issues that the car had in the first place. So that's why the P1 hasn't been, like, finished, because getting to that point is, like, the hardest thing ever. Like, solving all those problems takes time, like, just to get a body on this car, like, to construct and design and test a body usually takes 2 to 3 years. Like, that's just on, like, the companies that I've talked to. They say, like, to make a prototype body in carbon fiber the way you want it, it would take 2 to 3 years and a few $1,000,000. I don't have either of those. I have to make YouTube videos. So when that happens, then I'm like, what can I do to expedite this process? What can I learn? Can I learn, how to 3D scan? Are there people that can expedite this process with, like, their own CAD models, and can they put that in? And then, how can I think outside the box and be on the cutting edge of this stuff, so I can get the result I want without having to pay, necessarily millions of dollars.
So are you waiting on other experts to be able to come up with CAD files, come up with solutions for the car? And that's why you're working on other projects at the
Correct.
Same time as working on the P1?
Correct.
It's not like if you solely worked on the P1, you'd be able to complete it much quicker.
Yes. It's so right now it's what I hate is, it's like if you get to a like a movie set or some commercial shoot, and the term is hurry up and wait. So you have to get there, and then you're like, all right, call time is 8:00. and it's 11 o'clock and you're like, I haven't done anything. I've just sat in a chair for 3 hours. So it's sort of like that. It right now it's in limbo because, and I'm absolutely not blaming anybody. This is how long the process takes. And the people that I've worked with and am working with, they are also very quick for their industries and they know everything about what they're doing. So I have the utmost respect and trust in what they're doing. So, but when the process goes away from what I can do, like I can't make carbon fiber panels. I can't 3D scan and 3D print. Like I'd like to learn how to do all that, but realistically for me to get to the level that they're at, it would take me another, 10, 20 years. So I think I have to defer to those experts, and those people are, they're, testing this new body, and then that, like, whenever we have to make changes, that has to go back to the designer, and then they have to design it in a way that still is true to their design, but also incorporates like things like you don't want the car to have lift at 250 miles an hour. You don't want it to
So you're basically redesigning a car.
I'm redesigning every aspect of the car.
So what do you think is the current timeline to finish?
It is really interesting because current timeline to finish, I'd like to have the car done by SEMA of 2026, but I'm going to do it in phases. So I think finished is a very it's hard to put a stamp on, like, okay, it's done, because you can always modify things. You can always push the envelope. Let's say I get the body and the engine and everything done. Is the car finished? Well, it hasn't done the speed run yet. So what happens then? What if it doesn't? What if it doesn't do it? Then I have to go kind of back to the drawing board.
Do you need to do the speed run? Because I see some of these videos of cars like in Thailand or the Philippines where they just make a Bugatti and it looks 70% of the car. But I'm just saying what they're able to do in the garage.
70 that's
what they're able to do. Like, do you need to drive the car 250 miles an hour? Can you just make it look good to drive on the freeway at 100 miles an hour?
I could just put body panels on this car and then just make it run with whatever drivetrain, and it'll make noise and it'll perform well, and that wouldn't be long at all. The issue is, because I want this car to be everything that my childhood brain dreamed of, I am holding myself to that, to those standards and goals. And I think if some YouTuber made this car, like me as just some dude, and it not only became the fastest McLaren on the planet, but like it was redesigned by the original designer, and then everybody saw from when it got to the shop, it with twigs in the vents and 300 pounds of sand in it, to this gleaming show car that now is a world beater. I think that's a really big lofty goal. That's like, okay, well now I did that. That is my mark on car culture. And then it's funny because I'm not going to say I'm walking in these circles or anything like that, but the fact that people like Mate Rimac, who's the CEO of Bugatti Rimac, it's not Rimac, it's Rimac. He I met up with him, and he's a really cool guy, and the fact that like I can text him, and talk to him about this stuff. And, like Christian von Koenigsegg knows who I am. Like that is something that, like Jay Leno knows who I am. Like, that is insane to me. That should not ever happen. So I want to make sure that like those people I do right by. Like, I'm not just some guy with dreams and then like, oh yeah, I put an LS with a 5-speed and now it's like, here you go, it's YouTube done.
I think it's long-term oriented is what you're doing. It's like you could do the short approach, take shortcuts and pump the videos out. But then again, that wouldn't like build as much of a legacy maybe as being the guy that fully made. It's like,
I think it's not only that, but the long-term approach is, I always think of things in terms of like, I think the timelines are going to be shorter than they actually are. And realistically, I didn't think that I'd be on year 3 of this, but with the scope creep and all that stuff with these projects, that's sort of where these things go. I don't know what people expect from like a hypercar rebuild, how long they think it should take. But I know that based on what other YouTubers are doing, they're like, oh, it should have been done by now. Realistically, that's like so nobody's ever done this before. So there's no litmus test of like how long is too long. So I'm just going as fast as I can, but I'm also trying to make the best decisions for this build and the the channel and the car.
Now, by the way, quick thanks to our sponsor, CyberGhost VPN, for sponsoring this video.
CyberGhost is one of the most trusted VPNs out there, with over 38 million users worldwide and over 20,000 strong reviews on Trustpilot.
Using a VPN is one of the simplest ways to protect your online privacy. Like, a lot more eyes are watching your online activity than you think.
And of course, even incognito mode does not stop it. Your internet provider, your work or school network, and even your home Wi-Fi router can still track what you're doing.
CyberGhost helps by encrypting your online data and running it through their secure servers. You just pick from over 100 locations before you browse.
It also lets you access geo-restricted games and content from over 40 streaming platforms, including Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney+. And here's a little special sauce I'll sprinkle on top. Changing your location can actually help you find better deals online.
CyberGhost works on all major devices like Mac, Apple, iOS, and Android, and you could protect up to 7 devices at the same time.
And guys, if you're thinking about it, using our link in the description gets you their absolute best deal at $2.03 per month, plus 4 months for free, which is 84% off.
They also offer a 45-day money-back guarantee, so it's risk-free to try it out. We like it enough to recommend it to all of you watching.
Once again, the link is down below in the description. Thank you so much to CyberGhost for sponsoring this episode.